Hello everyone, welcome to Tuesdays with Dr. T. And today we are going to dive deep into something really interesting. And although it's a little different from usually what I teach, because it's a lot like life lessons, but you are going to have your mind. Get ready with your notepad. If you are watching this on a replay, I would highly suggest that you do it like an interactive session because the more you dive deep into this, the more you will learn actually. Okay. So let's give a little background on what we're doing today. Okay. Have you ever had that phase in life, that day, that time when you have to make a decision, but then the more you are talking to others, the more you are getting paralyzed, the more you have hundreds of options and you are literally exhausted from the various types of options that you have to be able to choose, and you are having this analysis paralysis, if you know what I mean. So it's like you have so much going on and you don't know what to do. Today you are going to have that all uncurled for you. Okay, and you are in the right place. So starting today, I would highly suggest that you get a notepad and a pen because this is going to be an interactive session and I am going to teach you a lot that I teach in my paid program. And it's actually not my own idea. It was taught by my business coach, Kitana Kearney. I really love her. And if you are somebody who is aspiring to be a business owner, a coach, consultant, and things like that, I highly recommend you uh, follow her. You will learn a ton. Okay. So coming back to the point, this is actually called a clarificator. She named it as a clarificator, and we in Autism Success Academy, we use it also. I teach it to my clients. I use it myself whenever I'm having a life situation and I am totally confused on what I should do. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Okay. So it's actually a 5-step process, and the 5-step has you to first get comfortable. Okay, get comfortable, take 5 deep breaths, like in through your nose, hold it there, and then out through your mouth. Okay, so what that does, the deep breathing does, is it centers you, it focuses your attention into your inward, because we tend to live our life outward. Okay, we are always go 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 outside of us, looking for the next big thing. Wassalam, Maria. Thank you so much for coming. And you will be doing it with me, inshallah. I do suggest you to get your notepad and pen and your favorite beverage, and we shall start right away. Okay. So it's a 5-step process. And the first step, as I said, is before you start the journaling session or the thinking session, first you have to calm yourself down. Okay. Center yourself by taking deep breaths, get a glass of water, and then relax your whole body, okay? Because your body knows the answer. We always look outside of us, where else the answer was and is always inside of us, okay? So once you are centered, that's when it's time for you to start writing. Hello, Papia. Good morning from Canada. It's night. It's 9. I would like to show you guys. This is actually day 4 of our circumcision journey, and I have Mohammed here sleeping with his eye mask on so that mommy can do her live. And we are doing good, alhamdulillah. And I have been totally antibiotic free. I have been able to do it totally antibiotic free, and then it's really healing. So I am very much looking forward to writing a really big blog post, helping out anybody who's thinking of doing the circumcision. It's a Muslim ritual as well. So let's dive in, okay? So step 1 is identify the problem or block or belief, okay? So step 1 is identify the problem or block. Thank you, Maria. I'll give it to him, inshallah. Okay, so identify the problem or block or belief. Because usually what happens is this: you think you have a problem, but actually the problem is not that one, it's something else. Okay, why this happens is because our brain, whenever we are in fight, flight or fright mode, that's when our brain has this paralysis going on. Your brain will just kind of shut down. It will be on highly elevated emotions, and then you will be really cracked out of not understanding what your next point should be and whether you are actually solving the right problem or not. Okay, so whenever you are in a situation like this, the first step is to identify the problem or the block or the belief, because a lot of times our belief actually designs our results. Okay, if you have been following me for a while, you know I talk a lot about mindset. And hello Neela Farzana, thank you for hopping in. So whatever sometimes what happens is we have these blocks. The block, by block we mean in NLP language, is that you want to do something, but there is a hidden belief or mindset that is holding you back from achieving those dreams or goals. Okay, so let's give you an example to make it more clear. Let's take this example. Let's say that your problem is, how can I support, I mean you, okay, let's say I am the person, and I'm thinking, how can I support the proper development of my autism child so that he can recover developmental delays such as, you know, sensory issues, sleep, mood, picky eating, and things like that, to becoming healthy, independent, and might have the best success in life. So I think this question is pretty much in all of our mind. So I was thinking like this will be a really great example of helping you guys find the best protocol, the best solution, or whatever that you think is the best for you. Okay, so let's take this example as, how can I support my child on the spectrum to be the best version of himself? Okay, so once you have that question or the problem, your problem is autism recovery, or it's not a disease. First of all, autism is not a disease that you are trying to cure. We are not trying to do that either. What we are trying to do is we are trying to give our children the best support, because our children have struggles. They cannot speak, they cannot communicate, they feel socially very anxious, they cannot go to, you know, they cannot have like a pretty much a regular life, because a lot of our children cannot chew, cannot hold stuff, cannot be potty trained, and you know we have all sorts of problems that we go through. So that life is not like a quality life for the child, neither for the parents, especially the mom. Okay, so let's take this example. Like, I am an autism mom, and I want to help my son recover and be the best version of himself. So that's the problem. So dig deep and list at least 5 reasons why you think you cannot achieve recovery or whatever problem that you are trying to solve. Okay, so I highly suggest that you find a problem that you are going through and do this with me live, so that, and ask questions so that I can help you guide and navigate through this, and coach you through this much better. So let's take this one example, and I'm thinking I'm going deeper, and then I have like 5 reasons. At least try to find 5 reasons why you think or feel or believe that you cannot achieve that goal. Okay, these are your blocks or problems that you think you are having and you cannot overcome. Okay, so once you are through that, let's say your first problem could be you do not know that it is achievable, because when you're going to the doctor, you are being told this is the life, it's his personality, and the brain cannot regenerate, the brain cannot improve, and this is the best that we can do is maybe train him to be somebody that you can function a lot better. So that might be your one of the reasons that you do not know the solution is there. Number two, you might have the solution, but you might think that you don't have the money for that, the finance for that. Your third problem could be, whether you can have your husband on board or not, whether you can have the help of your in-laws or parents, or wherever you are working, you can have those things cut out for you or not. Then you might have a fear, or you might have a problem, or feel that you're not good enough. No, you're not a good enough mom. You don't know how to change the diet. You're not capable enough. You might have that belief about yourself. So that's the first step. Identify the problem and identify at least 5 reasons why you think you cannot achieve them. Okay. All right. So after step 1 is step 2. Step 2 is identify the core emotions attached to this block or pain. Okay. So why do you need to find the core emotion? Because we are emotional beings. Okay. Whenever we make decision, we do it from emotions. Okay. So you might be very scared. So you are stuck, like a deer caught in the red headlight. Okay. So you can be totally fearful and stuck wherever you are. You could fear anxiety, like whether you are good enough or not. It could be some other emotions of fear, of guilt or shame. Maybe you have been having thoughts that you have failed being a mother in some way or not. So dig deep and peel the layers until you go to the core emotion. What is that one emotion you feel whenever you think about this problem? And you know what? The surface layer is usually fear, anger, or anxiety. But deeper, there may be sadness, there may be loneliness. Why the loneliness? Maybe you feel like you are the only one thinking about your child's recovery and there is nobody on board. Let me know in the comment if this is landing for you, if you feel that you are the only one who wants that goal and nobody else is believing in you. So you might feel lonely, you might feel unsupported. Feeling unsupported is also another emotion. Okay, so whatever that you're feeling on top, go deeper, more deeper, and then find that specific core emotions, and then it will be easier for you to overcome. Let's give an example for that. Okay, for example, you might have, you want to start recovery, and then if you're following me or somebody that's who's talking about nutrition and gut health and things like that, so you are totally scared. Your son, you think your child is world's #1 picky eater, and there is no freaking way that you can change his diet. Okay, so that can be the fear, that can be your fear. And and for that, you can also feel like, what is the cause for this? What is the solution for this? Because there are so many solutions out there, and then you are not being guided by your doctor. And you, being an autism mom and also having a child on the spectrum, you definitely want to be guided properly. You definitely want some authentic figure, somebody, pediatrician, or some big names coming to you and telling you this is what you should do for your child. Most often, that's not exactly what's happening with us. Okay, so Farzana says, exactly, I'm very confused. How can I start this journey for my child, but really want to start no matter what? Well, Farzana, mashallah, the first thing that I see from this is you are saying you really want to start no matter what. That is the thing. When you are dedicated and laser focused on achieving that goal, we can help you find the perfect solution for you. You don't have to work with us. Find anybody that you trust, that you feel is the best for you. Okay, because not all solutions will work for you. Not all solutions might feel like the best fit for you. And also it takes some sort of experimentation. Sometimes it's like a hit and miss. You try, you try some more, and then you get results for that. Okay. So for that, I would say, like, you can have fear of failure. Like, am I good enough to be able to change or start or finish a protocol? Because I get a lot of DMs asking, moms asking, I want to do the program, but I'm scared whether I can start or finish the protocol. Okay, so you might be having those thoughts as well, or any other problem that you're solving. Okay, strictly this is, I'm using this as an example because I feel for the last few weeks I have been getting a lot of DMs and requests from moms who are stuck in like a confusion. What should they do for their child? Okay, so I would thought, let's just help them with a tool that freaking works all the time, and I always teach it to my clients as well, and they love it. They usually say it's one of the best tools that they have got, because it helps them get clarity, which is why it's named clarificator. Okay, so there can be another fear. What if this does not work? What if this protocol does not work? What if the solution that you are finding does not work? Well, guess what? You tried at least. Okay, so find that one. If you don't know the problem, you cannot have the solution. So find the problem, which is your fear, whether it will work for you or not. So when you find and pinpoint the problem, we can go forward with the solution. Okay, Farzana, I think this is landing for you. Please let me know if you understood what I said so far. So peeling down, usually we start with fear or anxiety, and then going down, it can be guilt, it can be shame, it can be frustration, it can be resentment. I felt resentment. My core feeling was resentment because I was the only one trying to do the work, and I was not having any help. The doctor I went, she totally laughed at my face, saying that, ha ha ha, diet does not do anything. And I really wanted to whack a pen in her head. And I'm like, how can you, a doctor, say that nutrition does not help? If I had this animation going on, I would have this, like, my brain, coming out of it. Boom. Okay. So the second step was finding the core emotion, whatever you were feeling, find the core of it. And the third one is very interesting. Okay. Ask yourself this question. What is this fear or anger or frustration or the core emotion? What is this core emotion serving me? Okay. What is this fear serving me? What is this resentment serving me? So for me, what happened was I was feeling a lot of resentment towards my husband. And so I was like, what is this resentment serving me? What's the purpose of this resentment? So I found out that this resentment came because I was angry at him. I was like, I am a mom, fine, but I'm also a human. Why should I be the one doing everything in the home? Starting from cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, thinking about their health, studying, trying to build my own career, and doing every freaking thing. Why should I be the one doing everything? Okay, so this is my point of view. You might have something else. So find out what's the purpose of your core emotion. Okay, so let's take the example of the picky eater. Okay, so if you believe and you think that your son has this identity of world's first or number one picky eater, and you cannot change his diet, what is this belief serving you? What is this belief? For example, let's take Farzana's example. She says she's very confused. How can I start this journey? So I ask yourself, what is this confusion about starting the journey serving you? What is the purpose of having this confusion? Because everything in this world has a purpose. And this question might sound silly or weird, but trust me, just work through this. This will work out. Okay? It does every single time. So what's the purpose of being confusion? You might be confused because you're not being guided properly. You might be confused because you heard about changing diet helps your child for the first time. Okay, so there can be other things, or it can be the fear of going outside your comfort zone. You have been having this son. Let's say I'm taking my example of my son. Let's say I have been having my child on the spectrum, being a picky eater for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or more years. Okay, so you have this very core belief that your child is a picky eater and he will not change his diet. So that's your belief. Okay, so what's the purpose of having that belief? The purpose could be, one, you have tried changing his diet, you have tried to give him good food, and then he rejected. So when you saw him rejecting the food, you took it upon yourself thinking that he is rejecting you. Okay, so if my child, let's say I have cooked something very lovingly and put it down for him to eat, and then he doesn't want, no, I don't want it. Maybe he gags, maybe he throws the food away, and you might feel exhausted, angry. You might want to pull your hair out. You might want to slap your kid or start crying. Okay, you might want to feel like start crying because you feel frustrated. You feel like this is the end. You cannot try anymore. So the purpose of being confused, or the purpose of being stuck, feeling fearful, or whatever emotion about that one, could be you are scared to go out of your comfort zone because you have tried it a lot. You have tried a lot. You have failed. The second one is fear of failure. You have failed a lot. Wassalam. You have failed a lot, and you don't know whether you will be able to fail any longer or not. Okay, so let me check if I get this one. Okay, so Sonia Zabin, wassalam, thank you for coming. I am really happy to see you. So Sonia, I would really highly suggest, if you are free, do this interactive training with us, because this will also help you to find the best solution for you, and find the best solution for any problem that you are having with your child. Okay, so coming back to the point, so it might be because you are scared to go out of your comfort zone, or you have failed a lot of time and you do not feel like you have that energy to fail again. Let me know if this is landing for you. Okay, so Papia says people's words can be triggered. Yes, for example, they say, oh, your child lost so much weight, I hope he's not starving. I hear it all the time. Okay, I hear it all the time. Yet, all the kids or children that I have seen in my family, my husband's family, going through circumcision, everybody had pretty hard remission. Everybody needed multiple courses of antibiotics, and they had a lot of struggle and crying and things like that. But this guy, alhamdulillah, he has been pretty strong. He did not have a single temperature, and yesterday night was the only time that he struggled because I forgot to give him the pain medicine. Okay, I was doing a little experimentation. I hate medicine, you guys know that. So I was like, since he looks okay, let's just not give him this dose. And guess what? At 1 a.m. I get called that he's getting awake, and then we have to stay awake until I give him more medicine, and then his pain a little subsided, and then he slept. So I slept at 5, and then I missed one of the clarity calls. Okay, like mom life. Okay, so whenever people's words trigger, we might give that a very much importance. Okay, but your child's remission, recovery, healing, whatever problem that you are having at this moment, you are the only one who will be suffering. They won't. There are people, they will say, let them say. It's very hard because I am a people pleaser at heart. Okay, Anybody who has had childhood trauma and have had some sort of like a, parental aggressive parenting gone through, or maybe a narcissistic parent, they become people pleasers. Okay, so I have become people pleaser and I want to please everybody. Yes, and I would maybe agree with that person, but deep down I have this laser focus, this 100% dedication and laser focus, that even though he looks like thinner, but I know whatever is inside of him is full of goodness and health. Because how do I know that? My son is not falling sick. He's not having cough, cold, flus that often. I would say not. In the last 2 years that we have been following the protocol, he fell ill one time. One time in the COVID, which was one of the reason. Like he had just like a flu kind of situation, which sorted out in like 5 days. Okay, so yeah, let's not get bogged down by what people are saying. They will trigger you. Until you find the result, just stick to your guns. Okay, all right. So maybe you were told, we are still in step 3, which is what is the fear or belief serving you. So you might have this fear of not being a good mom. Okay, you might have this fear of being a bad mom or bad parent, because whenever we have a kid on the spectrum, a lot of the times our people around us, maybe our parents, maybe our in-laws, and maybe our friends and families tell us that we haven't done a good job. Maybe we have been lazy, we have not been feeding our children properly, we have not been, not being a good mom in general. Because whenever people are talking, they always speak in a way that they're the best, they did their best, and everybody else are just nobody and nothing. Okay, so I have seen a lot of friends, I would say friends on the network in our community, and they're autism moms, and I see them very angry at the world, very angry at the world. Whenever I'm talking about a particular person that I follow, I love her content, but all I see in her reels, in her post and everything that she does is anger at the world, because she has been really put under a lot of, put looked down, that she's the reason why her children both, I guess she has both her son on the spectrum, so she is the reason why her children are on the spectrum. Okay, so you might have similar problem as well. So another problem that can come is loss of investment. So what if, let's say you find a protocol. Let's say you want to come to us, you want to do the protocol. It's not very cheap. It's about in the 5K or to 6K Canadian dollars. So you are like, well, it's a hefty bill. So how am I going to make my husband, maybe who he's the chief provider, agree to this? Okay, this might be one of your problems, because a lot of people who gets on the call has this problem. Okay, so I know how that happens. Let's say you want to buy a dress. It's so gorgeous, so loving. It will make you look like Aishwarya Rai or Sushmita Sen or whoever is your favorite. They are my favorite. I love them a lot. So whoever is your favorite actress, maybe whenever you buy that one, you feel like it will make you look that gorgeous. But how are you going to ask your husband to do that investment for you? Okay, what are you going to do? So it's a tricky problem, right? So that might be one of the purpose of feeling this stuckness. Maybe you want to solve the problem, you have something of a solution that you believe, you feel like you can trust, or you feel like let's just try, because you are not going to lose anything by trying, by doing experiment, because every time that you try, even if you failed, you learn something about yourself, your children, your child, or something new in general. Okay, so feel the feelings. You might, whatever feeling that you're feeling, feel the feelings and find the why. Find the why behind that feeling, because what does your brain want ultimately is safety. Okay, so neuroscientists say this one, a part of our brain is reptilian in nature, which means that it has a ancient part of our brain, which is probably the amygdala. So that part always wants our safety. That part always makes sure that we are safe, that we are not having a tiger running behind our back. Okay, so your fear could be just because your brain wants you to be safe. That is why the brain wants you to be in the comfort zone. The brain wants you to be in that circle, because that is what he or she knows as being safe. Okay, all right. So step 4 is the coolest part, because this is when you are going to find the solutions. Okay, so step 4 is brainstorm ways to meet both your needs and your goals. Let me repeat again. Brainstorm ways by which you can meet both your goals and your needs. Usually what happens is when we are asking somebody for a solution, or let's say you ask your husband that, I want to do this, what should we do? Or you ask your friends, you see somebody on the internet doing something and you want to try that, and you are like, I want to try that, how can I do that? Okay, so in that case, you have gone through the last 3 steps. You know the reason why you are feeling the feelings. Okay, so the fear, the frustration, the resentment, guilt, or shame, all of those emotions needs to be seen, heard, and resolved. Okay, so whatever emotions that you are feeling needs to be seen, heard, and resolved. And how can you do that? You can do that by listening to the feeling, but doing it anyway. Okay, which is why we have this 4th step, which is find or brainstorm ways to meet both your goals and your needs. Okay, for example, let's take this recovery example again. So you want your child to have recovery, you want to help your child be the best version of himself or herself, and you want him to be healthy, happy, and enjoying life. Okay, we all want that. So I use the word recovery just as a container. Okay, don't, if you're feeling friction about the word, I'm sorry for that. It's just the word I feel connected to, that's why I use this word. So if your goal is to have recovery, your need, you have to, let's say for me, my needs were, it has to be affordable, because I was in one income, single income, low income family, but I still found those about 7K that I had to spend. So money was an issue for me. Okay, then I have to, as a naturalist myself, as a research scientist myself, it has to be natural. And then as a as a naturalist again, because I have worked with natural products. Okay, and I'm a pharmacist, so I also know about drugs and their side effects. So I did not want to give any drug to my kids. Okay, I'll answer your question, Maria. Okay, so I did not want him to be drugged. I did not want him to have any stress, because I have done my research and I did not like ABA. Okay, you might love it, it's good for you, fine, but for me, because I have had a very traumatic childhood, for me, my son's happiness was more important than what my doctor says or my scientific brain says. Okay, because scientific part of the brain wants things to be proven before we jump or try something. But for me, I'm a researcher by heart. I try to find things, I experiment things. So I was like, For me, it has to be natural, it has to be safe, it has to be free of medication and things like that. Okay, so that's the part for me. So let's say you have picky eating problem and you are fearful to death, you're scared to death that your child is a super picky eater and you cannot change his diet. Well, for that, the goal is you want to change his picky eating. Your need is to make it easy for you, effortless, and a solution that actually gets you the result. Okay, so let's say you want to find a method or a solution that is, pretty much easy to do because you have tried, you followed those autism nutritionist or autism, I would say nutritionist, I would say there are a few in Instagram. So they have this post after post and hundreds of posts about how you should cut the cucumbers or the tomatoes or the carrots. Okay, as if cutting into star really makes your child eats the carrot. I don't know if it worked for you. Let me know. It works when your child is in the mood. But if your child is in the mood of a meltdown or pretty grumpy, I don't think even a Mickey Mouse can come and make your child eat the food. Okay, so there has to be a solution that understands the root cause of why my child is a picky eater. Okay, if you don't know that, I suggest you go through my previous slides because we talk about that a lot. And to find that, as I said, your problem is how to overcome the picky eating. Your solution is you find a protocol, but that has to meet your need. So your need could be making it easy, making it simple, making it effortless, and somebody who's holding your hand and making it easy for you, or accountability partner. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's take the next example as finding investment. Okay. So how can you find investment? So how can I be resourceful? So for me, what happened is, as I said, I was a single income family. So I had to be resourceful. I had to cut corners. I stopped calling friends on home. I stopped being social. I stopped buying anything and everything that was not essential. I made my own stuff at home. Okay, I shopped groceries when there were sales. I was very resourceful about it. I found apps that would do stuff because, a lot of the times the food that we think is rotten is not actually rotten. You cut a little bit of it and then the rest you can really eat. Just like that. Okay, so I have tried being resourceful, and then within that, my husband used to earn $2,000. And in that amount, I was able to live pretty well, find food that's organic and pretty much good for my children, find the necessary tonics and doctor's visit and experimentation and everything, things like that, because I was not working as well. And on top of that, I was suicidal. I was going through a lot of my own poopy business. Okay. So if you want to achieve something and you do not have any notion or belief of a fixed identity, then you can help. You can find ways. You can always find ways. Okay. So another important question a lot of you might have is, will I be able to complete the process? Will I be able to start and complete the protocol? Okay. So if that is your question, then the need for you is something that is proven, that has a lot of understanding of what you need, that may be customizable for you, and finding the blocks that you are feeling, somebody who understands the block that you're feeling and then guide you through them. Okay. All right. So now that I have brainstormed the ways that I can meet my goals of recovery, or finding the protocol, or finding the coach, or finding whatever that you want to do, And then my needs are, I need this to be safe, I need this to be affordable, I need this to be not really affordable per se, because let's say your phone gets broken today, or your child loves his iPad and then he breaks the iPad. What do? You know that this iPad is very important for you, so you go to the shop and then you either buy or you finance the iPad, right? Because you feel, you know that this is important for you. When you want to do something, you'll find a way. If not, you will find an excuse, or 10 or 100 of excuses. Okay. So if you have been so far guiding through, then you have already brainstormed ways to meet both your goals and your needs. Do not skip this step, because if you skip the need, then you will find reasons to not do it. If you find a protocol that's too easy but does not give you the result, you will not do it. If you find a protocol that sounds too hard, ask question about it. Okay, a lot of the times I see people just, lurks around, they ask some surface level questions, and then maybe they hop onto the call, they get to know me, they understand me, they love me, but then they feel scared. They do not ask the question. So I highly recommend you ask the question to your doctor, to your coach, to whoever can help you or you feel like can help you. Ask the questions and then do your own research and listen to your gut. Okay. Now that you have brainstormed the goals and the needs, and let's say you have decided on following a protocol, you want to go grain free or you want to hop in with us, okay, I'll be really happy to have you. So let's say you decided on something, you want to buy that dress, you want to buy that car, or you want to do anything. Okay, once you have decided that this is how I'm going to do it, because this format is both my goals and it's also solving my needs. Okay, now the next step is to just close your eyes, take deep breaths, and then in 1 second, think about the solution. So if the solution makes you feel like, ah, then it's not the right solution. If it makes you feel like, that's the right solution. If you feel expansion thinking about the solution, it's the right solution. If you feel contraction, it might not be the right solution for you at this moment. If it's contraction, then I would suggest you go deeper, because your intuition is the best guide for you. So once you go through that, the last step of the 5-step process is write an affirmative that targets both the needs and the goals, because you need to keep reminding yourself that you can do it. Okay, you can do it. You might go through hundreds of books, you might go through hundreds of programs. If you do not work, if you do not do the work, nobody can give you results. If you do not want, you want to go to Canada or USA or America or wherever that you want to go, but you do not want to move from your home, will you get the visa? Will you be able to get the money to buy the plane tickets and then eventually come to Canada? No. So what you have to do is you have to keep telling yourself, first write an affirmative sentence targeting both your goals and the needs. So for this one, I'll say, let's say I'm a great mom. I put it down for you guys. I'm a great mom who would feel calm when I am provided with a solution that I trust. So I am choosing blank. Fill it up with whatever that you're choosing. And I'm giving it my laser focus and dedication, because I know I can definitely win at this. Okay, because your problem is also your solution. Okay, the thing that you are stuck at is your solution. If you are stuck at being scared to try that new thing, that is your solution, because our brain wants to keep us in a comfortable position. But in Hindi, there is this thumbs up ad. It says "Dar ke aage jeet hai," which means there is success beyond fear. It's the truth. There is always success beyond your comfort zone. So if you have find out your comfort zone, I highly suggest you find ways to still feel comfy and then move forward one step at a time, because keep going forward, you will reach your dreams. Now the question time. So Maria says, how did you overcome your feeling of resentment towards your husband, or how do you overcome these emotions? I love you. That's a very nice question. Okay. All right. So there were times when I really felt resentment. I really wanted to break his neck or some of his bones. What I did was I did a journaling session, I did a meditation session on myself, and then I found out what was more important for me. Was it holding on to this resentment and being stuck because I'm too angry at him, or was it the real recovery of my child? I decided my child's recovery, his success in the world was more important, even though it meant I'll have to do all the work. I did all the work until he started seeing results, and then he started believing, and now alhamdulillah, my husband helps a lot. But the last 2 years, they were not bed of rose. They were in fact bed of thorns. So whenever you are feeling resentment, find what is more important to you. What is your goal? My goal was to see my son's recovery. It was not to feel angry and staying at home and not doing the business, that I cannot feed him, I cannot cook, I am not buying anything new, I am wearing that same shitty dress that I brought from Bangladesh, and I cannot go outside, I cannot have a meal, there is pandemic going on, everybody's ordering food, but then I have to go there, wait in line, get my groceries, follow these lines and all these things. But I chose to do them because my love for my child overrode the anger that I felt towards my husband. Okay, so I overcame those by first giving myself permission to be the do all and the be all. Because if you do not give yourself permission to be the super mom, you cannot be the super mom. And sometimes, not always, sometimes you have to be the super mom until you get people on board. Whenever, let's take the example of all big scientific revolutions. Whenever there was something new, let's say Copernicus saying that the earth is round, it's not flat, he was shunned, he was bulldozed, he was also prisoned. Socrates, every single person, even Steve Jobs or whoever is, Bill Gates and people like that, every single person who turned history were first all alone. They were totally alone, nobody around them, nobody understanding their fight, until they truly believed in their fight. So I overcame those by truly believing that this is the fight that I have chosen, and it's a fight I'll fight till the end, because I did not have a really cool life as a neurodiverse person. I always had struggle. So I did not want my son, who was struggling even more than I did as a child, to have even worse life, because I was in, it's my choice. It's my life journey. It's my choice. I choose that one. So until you do find ways, until you find ways to solve your problem, to find that perfect solution, you will be alone. That's totally understandable. And if recovery is what you want, if helping your child be the best is what you want, alhamdulillah, I can tell you this, you are not alone, because we have an amazing community. A lot of them are already on call today. We have this amazing community who will hop on board and understand you, and you will not be alone through this. Okay. So Farzana says, thanks for your valuable life. Please guide us like this always. You are such an inspiration for us. Oh, thank you so much. Comments like this helps me move forward because today was not an easy day to have the live because the time zone and then my son being a little sick and down. And I still come every single Tuesday because I made a promise that I'll come and be valuable to you guys. And so here I am. Although in the last 2 weeks of December and the first week of January, I'll take off. I'll not have lives because your girl needs some rest. Okay, once a year, I think I deserve that. So Shurubi says, how is Muhammad? Alhamdulillah, he's a lot fine. His area of circumcision is healing pretty fast, Alhamdulillah, and he's doing well. Thank you for asking. Maria says, thank you, dear. I found this very helpful. I loved having you here as well. And thank you so much, everyone, for being over here. I highly recommend you watch this live again. Do the interactive session, the 5 question. I'll do a post. I'll do it this post very soon so that you have the questions with you to go with it and just dive into it because nobody is going to solve your problem for you. It has to be you. It has to be you. It has to be you. Okay? Have faith on God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whoever that you follow, and then go through the process, find your why, find your big why, find your fears and why you think that you are gonna stuck, then find your needs, and then find ways that you can both solve your goals and have your needs met together. And that's how you make perfect decisions every single time. So thank you once again for being with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.